Hi, everybody. It's me, Parsa. I'm here joined with,
Sky Danhof.
and today we're going to be doing the first episode of Hallmark Hits. And yeah, have some fun. And I guess
Yeah.
great. First, go into Sky, introduce yourself. Whatever you want to say, you can mention your chapter and anything you think is important.
Awesome sauce. Hello, I'm Sky Danhof. I am the candidate from Athens, Georgia. I'm representing Alpha Tau Zeta from Athens Technical College. I'm majoring in applied sciences and hoping to move on to nuclear medicine. And I'm so excited for the chat today. I'm so excited. Thank you, Parsa, for hosting it. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. So, I mean, over last few days, me and Scott begin to know each other a little bit. So we already know a little bit about each other. So it's been real nice to get to know you. And I want to pin our things because that's what was suggested. I don't know how this
Yeah.
can work, but let's see. Pin, pin. Okay, we got that. All right. So we're going to start off with a music question because it's Hallmark Hits.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask, let me find the question. What album have you had on repeat lately?
I have had Billie Eilish's Hit Me Hard and Soft on repeatedly. I just, whenever I'm warming up for ballet, me and my close friend Leah, we're in the same company and we always stick it on. It just hits right. What about you?
Hmm. I've had a couple on repeat lately. So I listen to more, I don't listen to music on the radio. So it's like low key,
Hmm.
so kind of known. Hmm. I always be bumping my favorite artist, same as Aries. That's like I want to make a post about him because he's been
Yeah?
influence on my life. But I always bump his album, and then lately I would say this one album called Vanisher Horizon Scraper by Quadeca.
Ooh.
It's
Ooh. You might have to send me the names of these so you can put
yes,
me on.
yes, I can. So those, I mean, my favorite artist. I want to see him in concert soon, and like February 21st. So been bumming him to, get the music known in my head. And
Nice.
then the Vanisher just been a vibe lately. That's just been the vibe. So
That is so awesome.
who's your favorite
I
artist?
have yet to be to a concert.
Oh,
Favorite artist. Oh gosh. Okay, I would say there's this group called Racoma, like Tacoma the truck, but with an R,
okay.
and they make like alternative indie kind of music, and I love them so much, and I love putting people onto them. Um, I would say they are for like summer, for like late afternoons.
Okay.
It's I really like it, so I would say that's my favorite one.
All right, I'll
Is it,
search
do
for.
you have a specific artist?
You said what?
Do you have, besides that person that you are going to go see, any other specific artists you think I should know?
Well, no, I mean, I think that guy's the main one that
That's
everyone
your
has
one?
to know
Okay.
about me. Like, I feel like I just assumed that everyone knows that about me because that was such a in my high school, that's all I talked about.
That was your thing?
Yes. So like there was one time my teacher in one of my classes, they wrote days that have gone by that Parsa hasn't mentioned Aries. And like I think
Zero.
it was zero most of the time. But I think I peaked at like 8 or 9.
Wow, look at
So I think
that's so great.
I know he's awesome. But but no, I have like 25 artists that I call like my favorite artists. I mean, because
Hmm.
those are the ones I listen to. So I don't even know if they would be technically favorite artists, but they're just artists that I have in my rotation most of the time.
Yeah.
But that guy's
You can just rely on, like, that if you put them on, you're going to be in a good space.
exactly. I bought two vinyls recently, and because I
Really?
like some of the vinyls for them, I can show you. Let's see.
Let me see.
Okay. No, that was my question. But here we have this one. It's called Y'all by Glaive.
Ooh.
This one's called Garden State by Jeremy Zucker.
Ooh. Very nice.
Two great artists that I've listened to for yeah, I've listened to both of them for a long time, honestly. Jeremy Zucker, a long time, and then Glaive, long time. But you said you've never been to a concert.
Besides like an orchestral
Oh,
concert,
okay, okay. Well, how was the
but
or
not a music one. So my one of my close friends that I did research with in high school is part of an orchestra in Atlanta with Emory College.
Hmm.
And I've gone to see them twice, and it is like transcending. Like they are so good. I wish I had the name of their exact orchestra. I can't pull it off the top of my head. But when we were in high school, he was at like the head of our orchestra. He did like a composition of his own for their senior show. And
Hmm.
so yeah, they it's full of super talented people. I was like, I have a thing for instrumental music.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was like what's your favorite instrument in the orchestral music? Do you have one?
Ooh. My brother and sister both play the viola, so I've heard a lot of viola, but I've also been really impressed by the range that the cello has and how it can move from being like a bass, like a bass instrument to
Yeah.
people can play it all as its own thing
Right.
with the chords. So I'm a fan of the cello.
That's awesome. Why haven't you been to a concert?
I don't know. It just hasn't come up.
That's fair.
But me and Leah have tickets in May to see not a concert, but a live of one of Billie Eilish's concerts. So like half credit,
Okay.
but we'll make it to a concert someday.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. They asked in the chat, have anyone heard of how do you pronounce that? Euphony?
Anyone? Euphonium. The
Euphony.
euphonium. Oh, it's an instrument.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
but I have no concept of how it is played, but I've heard the name.
I've never even heard of it. Let me check. I want to search this up real quick. Let's see.
Okay,
Euphony.
push the slide away.
It
It's
looked
making me
like
disappear.
it looks like it's oh no, I was about to say something crazy. Never mind. I think I've seen them too. I was about to say way off. But no, no. No, I think I've seen them for sure. But hmm, yeah.
People who play like niche instruments in high school, like they get private lessons. I We had someone in middle school that played the oboe, kind
Mhm.
of like that, how someone has the euphonium. I think those people are so cool, how they stand alone in their group and learn like these really niche instruments and make
Oh,
everything super
yeah.
interesting. That is so cool.
It is. It reminds me of like 2 days ago, I went to
Mhm.
my college has a show band and they've like won awards and I think I might mention, but they've won awards and they're great. They have a whole brass section and then the thing I went to one of their concerts for the first time and the thing I love about them is each person really has their own time to like have a solo throughout the whole set list. Like the piano person got their own solo, the saxophone person, the trumpet person on the drums, and that's what I loved about band because it's like inclusive. Everyone has their own
Mhm.
part where they can shine and show off what they can
Their
do.
moment.
So, yeah, exactly. And I don't know, I just found that beautiful. So that kind of
It's
reminds
really
me of
beautiful.
orchestral. I mean, there's so many instruments in the band. So reminds me of that. Hmm. I guess we can do like, should we do one more question? One more music question? I mean, let's see. Let me look. Hmm. Do you have a song right now? A song of the day?
Oh, a song of it. What have I been listening to? Today I was listening to Oblivion. I forget Oblivion. Let me see.
Yeah, you
I
can.
always forget what their name is. Hang on.
I'm gonna look at who I was listening to today too.
Oblivion uh artist. Hello. Oh, Grimes?
Grimes.
Like
Okay.
Grimes?
Grimes. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yes, I know who you're talking about. I don't think
It's
I'm
my
listening to.
point of view.
Oh yeah, I hit that.
It was all over in 2020 and I never let it go.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't. I've heard their music because I think one of my favorite artists. A lot of people say they sound like them. Their name's
Hmm.
Magma and They. They're like a two-person band. They made this really popular song. It's called Kill Shot. But
Yes.
you know that one?
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
that one.
So I think they get compared, but yeah, that's the only I haven't actually heard. I think I have it. Like I want to listen to it, but yeah.
I was
And
gonna say, what did you find your song?
I'm looking. I'm looking. Let's see. No, that was like last night. About a song that I'm like, oh, that was. Ooh. I was into this song. Listen to the song in the car on my
Hmm.
way back to my dorm. It's called Forever by Aries. Okay, wait, I sound like I'm going to talk about Aries.
By Aries.
I just realized it.
Minutes. Y'all, we should keep a tab. Minutes since Parsa mentions Aries.
No, we can, no, no,
That's
no.
good though.
Yes,
It
yes.
means it means you're passionate.
Yes, I didn't even realize. Okay, no, it sounds like just listen to Aries, but no, I mean, today I was listening to it, and that's the song that like encaps. That's what I was listening to when I graduated high school. So when I was listening in the car, I'm like, man, I just thought about high school, and it felt nostalgic today. So that's my song for the day.
There
So,
was a specific song I played in the car when I graduated. I don't remember what it was, but there's a video somewhere.
oh really?
My sister took it. I We have a ritual at my high school where all the seniors on the last day would drive around the parking lot and honk their horns and then
Oh
leave.
really?
It was really fun.
Okay. How many people were in your high school?
In my graduating class, we had 500 people, and then in my high school, I think it was yeah, close to 2,000.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
I was gonna say, is that around your size?
no, mine was 100.
Oh dang!
Yeah, relatively small. It's because it was a magnet program. So it was a mag. I mean, actually, that's all I can say. Magnet program. So
Yeah,
college classes, and yeah, there's 100 people. That's interesting though. I
yeah.
always like asking that question because I think we asked in one of the candidate meet and greets I did, and everyone was
Mhm.
some were like 100 as well, and then others were like even more. So, but I'll move on to the first question regarding PTK hallmarks. So. First, we want to talk about scholarship. We were talking uh, a few days ago about burnout, I feel like, right? So I
Mhm.
to talk about what's one way you try to avoid burnout, or you can just talk about burnout if you want to start, or you can answer that question.
Yeah. I This is a big thing for me. I'm actually the VP of scholarship in my chapter right now, so this would be right up my alley.
Mhm.
Um, but I would say the first time I started my in elementary and middle school, I was in a lot of remedial English. I had trouble with speaking, trouble with reading. I had speech impediment. I was in like remedial math. I had so many issues, and so learning really wasn't super fun for me. And then in high school, I kind of, I figured it out. I learned that if I sat down and just like read and just sat and stared for a long time, that eventually I would get it. And the closest I started to, or the first time I started to experience burnout was in junior year when I was first introduced to having three AP classes at once. I was in AP literature, I think an AP history, and an AP economics. And I realized that I couldn't use my study method that I had learned previously, where I just kind of like stared at it and repeated it, until I got it, because I just didn't have the time and the energy.
Mhm.
So I had to kind of refocus myself, and eventually I discovered that for me, singing like songs to remember things or using flashcards is a lot more effective because it's more about repetition than it is reading the entire thing over and over again. And having people, classmates, explain things to me rather than professors or teachers was also nice, because it was someone that could explain it to me who was my age, who could kind of, see things through my eyes. And to this day, I think I really avoid burnout by making sure to, one, like obviously pursue my own passions. I do ballet, even though I'm a full-time student and I have a full-time job, because, it gets me out of the house, it gets my body moving, things like that. But also just knowing how you learn in a way that makes it not miserable. It's never going to be super fun, but a way that makes it not like, oh, miserable is super, super important for me. Yeah. What would you say?
No, I love. I mean, first of all, you're great at speaking, so you know,
Hey, hey, thank you.
and I think let me think about everything you said. Hmm. How did you do in your AP classes? Did you do you like your AP classes? Was it difficult or what?
I ended up graduating with a capstone diploma and all fives. So I barely passed my first AP exam, and then I did end up getting my first five in my senior year. So we definitely went a lot. And I had a great teachers, but one specific research teacher that really saw me for like what I could be and had a lot of faith in me. And I sat with him after class, and I think he really pushed me to be better.
That's awesome. Hmm. Okay. And then what was your favorite AP class? Just curious.
Oh, which like what all AB classes
No, no,
or
yeah.
the one that he taught?
No, no, your favorite AP class. Did you have one?
My favorite AP class. Okay, my favorite AP class was AP Human Geography because it was the first class that I had that really applied to real life. And human geography sounds weird, but it was basically how how our society is not accidental in the way that it is. How we learned about like city mapping, we learned about how agriculture is mapped out in different zones that have like dairy, grain, wheat, et cetera. We learned about why people do what they do, why our population fluctuates the way it does, how having young people versus old people affects, and it was the first class that made me really be able to look and apply what I was learning in class and see it outside of class. And I saw in the chat someone said, and I'll actually have if you want to answer this one, what accomplishment are you most proud of? Yeah.
No, you can go ahead.
A map of our county with cookie dough.
Oh, wow.
Catherine says, for one of my AP Hug projects, I made a map of our country with cookie dough and shared it to the class after our presentation. That's amazing. You would have been my favorite classmate.
That is, dang, that's crazy. I
Um,
didn't- Mhm.
I would say the accomplishment, yay! Oh my gosh. I would say the accomplishment that I'm most proud of is my senior year of capstone research. I ended up conducting my own research study on hydroponic gardening, which is gardening that doesn't require soil. It only requires water and nutrients to grow the plants. And I wanted to be able to bring it to households instead of just major corporations. But in order to do that, I wanted to make it as cost effective as physically possible. And so I did an experiment in our chemistry lab with using household items to fix the acidity of tap water to allow the plants to grow and avoid chlorosis, which causes like withering and shriveling. And I found that if you use a certain portion of baking soda per liter of water, that I used kale leaves for my experiment, that they would actually double in size, and they didn't yellow at all, and they tripled in quantity and doubled in size. So it just made the crop way bigger, so it would be useful for lower income households to be able to provide their own vegetables. So yeah, that was the one I got a pro on. So that was super fun experience. It took me a year, and it was like a whole thing.
That's awesome. Wow. Is that one of your, so I mean that's the accomplishment you're most proud of. Do you have any other projects you did that you are proud of?
In AP classes, I did a
Doesn't have to.
collaboration. Oh, in AP, not
Doesn't have to be.
think. Um, I've illustrated a book. That
Illustrated.
was that, that was a new experience. It was really fun.
Wait, really?
hmm
So was it like a friend book, a book of a friend, or what?
So there was this author that I guess was friends with one of my friend's mom, and she was looking for a an illustrator, and she said, and my friend's mom was like, "Hey, I know this high schooler who really likes to draw," and she was like, "Okay," and so she reached out to me, and I was like, I can totally make what you want. I have no experience doing this, and she was like, "That's okay. We can figure it out together." But it was a children's book designed for kids who are in Isaiah 111 houses, which are houses that foster children go to stay temporarily while they're being placed instead of staying in a police station.
Mhm.
And so we got to donate like hundreds of those books to have them each in all the houses, and it basically just is a book to help guide small children through big, complicated feelings. So I was super excited to get to be a part of that. That was definitely really cool.
Wow. Wait, that's so sick. Like I love that. Wow. Wait, so what was your favorite draw? Like, do you have a favorite part of the book or your favorite drawing out of the book?
I actually think I have a copy in my closet if you want to see. But there's a page that is modeled off of my cousin's. and
Oh,
I really liked that one. And they were really excited. They were like dressing up and posing so I could take their picture. And
wow.
um, here we are. So like, hang on, let's see if it'll. Those are my
Wow.
cousins.
That's so awesome. Yeah.
They're literally the sweetest people ever. And then another one of them is based off of the author's daughter, who her dad um, had passed away.
Mhm.
And so she asked if I could include one
Oh,
of
wow.
them.
That's awesome.
It was really fun. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was really fun.
Too cool. You're too cool.
No,
My favorite
I
book.
want to hear about yours. I'm so curious.
My proudest accomplishment, or where should I start off at? Proudest
I
accomplishment?
would say the first thing that comes to mind when you just think of like something you like to talk about, an accomplishment or something you've done, a project you've been involved in that you were like, this is something I would really like to bring up.
You know, I did this for PTK, but it was, let's see, a project for high school seniors talking about LinkedIn scholarships, professional mindset, and just like everything you need to know before going to college.
Everything no one tells you.
You know what?
Everything no one tells you that you need to
Exactly. That's
know.
what I'm saying. Exactly.
Exactly.
Everything that I was like, if I want to know if I want to know what would I want to know before going into college? And I made it
Yeah.
into a presentation, and I just love that because I'm super passionate about college and self-improvement. So that's what I like live and breathe. So doing a presentation about it was just fulfilling, and being able to help others and seeing people light up and understand more about college and have questions afterwards to ask me about them. And one of them actually connected with me, and they invited me to their nonprofit event about Career Exploration Day, and I was able to speak about audio engineering, which is my career. And that was so fun, honestly, because I had an interactive activity where I brought people up and I like made them make sounds and tell them like what I would do with in virtually versus in real life. And those two things, I love how they connect together because those are two things I'm just super happy and I mean proud of. I've also placed nationally when I used to play video games. Actually, I don't know why I'm mentioning this, but I mean it was cool.
That's cool. Don't even.
I quit, but like I used to play video games in high school, and then I placed second in nationals for like Minecraft, and I mean that was something cool. I mean nothing.
That's cool.
I mean
I think that's cool.
thank you.
See? Exactly.
I got a heart. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of things I'm actually. Oh, this is something that happened recently. Honestly, I
Ooh.
and it's I guess it's like accomplishment. It was just me helping someone else, and I feel proud of it. So.
Mhm.
I mentioned the Calhoun Show Band, or I didn't say Calhoun, but that's my college, Calhoun Show
The show
Band
bad.
earlier, and I mentioned that, actually, I mentioned them. And a few weeks ago, when school started, I met one person that lived in the dorms, and they're at the dorm meeting, which I live in
Mhm.
dorm, and I they mentioned, oh, they're a music technology student like me, and they're like, oh, I'm trying to get into more bands. If you know anyone, let me know if they need a vocalist. I'm like, okay, the school offers, or the school has two bands that both offer full scholarships if you want to be part of it. And they're like, oh, really? And then I got them connected with the director, the band director, and from there they joined, and now they're part of the band, and I saw them perform, and it was literally so awesome because they're a female vocalist, and the band lost one of their female vocalists, so having another one back and being and like watching the concert live and seeing them sing was crazy. Like they sang specifically was the specific song they chose or they had to sing was Nothing Compares to You by Prince. And
Ooh.
it was they like their vocal register was like perfect for it. And that was just something that made me feel proud. I'm like, dang, I can say, I contributed to this experience. And
Yeah.
Oh, see,
See, yes,
yes, it's a good song. Ever since ever since I heard them played live, I was like, dang, I need to keep listening to this song. So that's one. Those are a few things I'm proud of.
that is a great accomplishment, especially because I think it is so important. I don't think people understand enough how much you can get by digging your into and becoming a part of your college community, how much colleges offer and scholarships and involvement and experiences if you just like step in the doorway. And so the fact that you got to like open the doorway, like guide someone to the doorway, super, super awesome.
Thank you. And it's something I love too. Sometimes, whenever I'm in the class or around campus, maybe in like the lounge areas or wherever people hang out, whenever I
Yeah.
mention opportunities, I'm like so excited. I'm like, yo, you should join this and then do this. And then and then some people are like, oh,
Do it, do it, do
they
it,
get
do it.
nervous. But like whenever someone is also motivated about it, that makes me feel even better. And just, I mean, that was kind of a moment, it wasn't with an extra, well, yeah, it's kind of extracurricular, but it's also a class. So,
Yeah,
being able to help other people, I mean, I just love it. I mean, it just makes me feel fulfilled, and um
it does.
that's all. Or that's all I gotta say for that. Um let's see. Hmm. I think what talking about burnout, so you said now instead of just looking at material, you do flashcards, you do like you sing a song to remember stuff.
Yes.
So
Mnemonics.
yeah, mnemonics, right?
Mhm.
That's what I thought it was called. But what to go more depth about like the mnemonics.
Oh, I'd have to recall, but we had a really funny one when I took a an advanced kind of like a life support and health class in high school. I took um uh, a three course like think classes in high school, but they were through the hospital, but they were counted as a class, like a class credit um for my extracurriculars,
Okay.
which is how I ended up becoming a certified EKG tech and then getting to use that, which is super helpful. But we had a mnemonic to remember the lead placement on people, and I actually don't know if it was so much a mnemonic, but it was white on the right, and then smoke over fire, so black on top of red, and then we would say clouds over grass. So and then the green. And then
Hmm.
you just have the extremity leads. But yeah, white on the right, smoke over fire, clouds over grass. And that one, we had a funnier one to remember the order of test tubes that you were supposed to draw blood into when you drew blood for labs. Something about like, gosh, it was really long. Something like grandma's angry chicken or something.
Yeah.
Green. Oh my gosh.
It's
Oh,
okay.
it was so good. But yes, it was like sophomore year of high school. It's been a minute, but very helpful, especially when you're in medical classes and you're like memorizing just
Yeah.
thing after thing after thing,
Yeah.
mnemonics, songs, everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I first wanted to get into the medical field when I was a child. I wanted to be a
Mhm.
dermatologist. And
Ooh.
yeah, so in high school, I
Bing.
started off with some classes um, in, health field. And then I think I remember some mnemonics too. So I feel like it's kind of popular in the health field, isn't it?
Hmm. Yeah,
That's interesting.
it's a big thing.
Because in my music classes, I mean, I don't think we have anything that's like, I don't think there's mnemonics in music. At least I know of so far. But,
CBA sharp.
well, I mean, yeah, in music, yeah, actually, I guess there is tech in music, but in music technology, I feel like there's not as many. You just gotta learn it. I don't
Yeah.
know. So let's see. We
Yes,
can
sir.
answer the question in chat. It says, "What inspired you to join PTK?"
So I actually, in high school, I was part of a program that was called Project U, which is kind of the high school equivalent of PTK. We did a lot of in-school projects and then we did some out-of-school projects because obviously when you're in high school, it's harder to get all the consent forms to get people outside the school. But we did volunteer for Fish Pantry, which was a food pantry. That was really nice. But I remember my first like project was very small. It was a Valentine's Day project, and my job was just to we wrote notes and we like wrapped them around lollipops and stapled them, and they were just encouraging notes wrapped around lollipops. But my job, they were like, "Hey, we want you to go during lunch and hand these out to all of the students." And I was like, because I was really introverted. Like,
Hmm.
I was really introverted in high school, and so I was a sophomore. I might have been a freshman actually at the end of my freshman year, and I was so scared. But going around and seeing like all different groups of people, and everyone was so nice and so receptive and so thankful, and like we had good conversations at every single table about what people were doing for Valentine's Day or what their favorite kind of candy was, or just like how their day was going. And that was definitely what sparked my love for working with the community, working with students.
Hmm.
And then throughout the years, I ended up becoming one of their co-presidents. We just had three co-presidents. And I got to do a lot of work. We did some work with the Children's Hospital. We did a lot of needs closet work, coats for the cold work, which are just all donations to keep students warm and fed. And so when I moved from Tennessee to Georgia for college, I was kind of uprooted from my community that I had built there. And I hadn't found a way to replicate that fulfillment and that feeling. And so I actually got the email and I was like, oh, like an honor society, like, oh, that might be nice, but like, I don't know. And then there was like, and we do these volunteer projects. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
so I went to the meeting, and actually, apparently, I was on the first day. There were 2 days, and apparently on the second day there were like 10 people, but on the first day it was only me. So
Okay.
I sat there and ate all their pizza and listened to them talk about their experiences. But our current chapter president that's training me to transition to chapter president, Donna, she is super duper passionate. She's about to graduate as a nurse, and she was just telling me about all the opportunities she got to serve people. Isn't she? I don't know. I love her so much. I swear she has 8 arms is what I say, because she really does it all. She is the person that can do everything. Um, but she invited me to come and work our college project that we were doing at the time. Um, and I absolutely fell in love. And I was like, okay, thanks, sign me up.
Yeah.
Um, let me get my white rose. I don't know if they do it at every induction, but at our school induction, everyone gets a white rose.
Okay.
Um, and it's I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just been since.
Hmm. Awesome. I guess I can answer that question too. No,
Yeah, I want
man,
to hear.
I don't know. Let's see. You know, when I first joined or when I first got into community college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And,
Hmm.
in high school, I was also, my freshman year during quarantine, it was pretty rough for me. I I didn't do good in my classes and it was pretty rough. And then when I got to around sophomore year, second semester, that's when I became friends with someone that was in two of my classes, and they would always be like, Parsa, did you do the homework? And I would be like, oh, yeah, yeah. And I hadn't done the homework back then. They started like they became my accountability person, not like on purpose or to really, or even like thoughtfully, but just in my mind, I knew they were going to ask me, oh, did you do the homework? And I started doing homework, and then boom from there. And to mention, back in like elementary and middle school, I also was really good. I was a good student, and I was
Hmm.
in classes. But then in high school,
Quarantine was rough.
he said, "What quarantine?" Yes,
It was rough.
it was rough. So once I started picking it back up, I started getting old A's, and then the rest of my high school was pretty good. But no one had told me to join clubs or do anything. No, I mean, my parents, they went to college in a different country, so it's completely different, and
Hmm.
they had no idea what to like tell me what to do, stuff like that. And I just didn't know. So I would be spending like time playing video games, and I mean, it got me, second nationals. But when I got into community college, I started learning about, let me make sure I'm getting the timeline right. I want to
Mhm.
start getting more involved because I started doing research about stuff and I was like, oh, see, man, I should have been getting involved. And I've always had a passion for helping people, but I only did a few times throughout high school because I didn't know about the other opportunities I could be doing.
Mhm.
And once I did research at my school about, I'm like, what clubs can I join? And out of all the clubs I saw I could join, the PTK, I joined, I mean, the other clubs, I joined a bunch of them as well. But, seeing what PTK stands for and the things we do once I went to a member meeting. Yeah, I went to a member meeting. Wait, let me make sure. I might have gone to induction. Actually, no, no, no. I went to induction first because, I wanted to join the honor society. I was trying to get into as many clubs as I can. And when I joined did the induction, after that I went to the first member meeting. I'm making sure I'm getting this right. Yeah. The member meeting. And then when I learned about PTK and saw the community they had, I mean, okay, look, the past officer team at my college was like they had the best connection and it was so motivating to see their dynamic as a team. And I wanted to be part of something like that as well. And especially the projects they did. My college got I think it was the Honors in Action. They got #1 in National PTK.
Yay.
So it was, super inspiring when I saw that, and I want to, be a role model. I mean, this is more less to do with BTK, but just overall, I want to be a role model for other people that were like me, didn't have the best high school career, and then joined community college without direction. I want to be a role model for those people to be like, you can not know what you want to do, and you can start
Mhm.
off from nothing, but you can turn yourself into one of the more involved students and make achievements and help others. And yeah, I think I think that's
Yeah.
my
No,
reason.
like we were saying the other day with the word amateur and how we say it
Oh
with a
my God.
negative inflection, but it means to do it for the love of doing. I think that having there's a is it a poem?
Hmm.
What is it? Who is it by? I have a lot of just random floating, like, pieces of literature in my brain,
Okay, okay.
but there's a poem or a quote that says, "If you know what you want to become, a grocer, a baker, a store manager, you will become it. That is your punishment. The ability to wake up every morning and reinvent oneself is a privilege." And I was like, "Oh,
Hmm.
that's really interesting. I really like that."
Wow. That's great. I I assume you like philosophy too.
Yeah.
I like watching philosophy videos, and there's this one channel that I didn't mention actually. This is another channel I watch. They're called Pursuit of Wonder. They make some of the best like philosophy videos that make you think and make you understand life. I think you're watching that. See, that's good. That's
Yeah!
great channel. But yeah, so I guess I'll move along to different. I think let's see if there's any other scholarship questions I can ask. Balance. Okay, this one's fine. How do you balance PTK, life, and school, med school specifically?
I was gonna say, like, ugh, my schedule is quite squished, quite packed. Um, one of the advantages is I avoided online classes for a long time because I was, again, quarantine. That kind of threw me off because at that time, online classes were so rudimentary and a lot of people, struggled or didn't learn, myself included, with those online classes. So I kind of avoided them as much as possible, but in this last semester, I was able to take 2 of my classes online, and it has actually really helped. So, not that, like, my tip is taking classes online, but experimenting with different formats. So, um, I have the opportunity to work night shift, which is also helpful, building in my schedule, but one I would say is I would be as intentional with your time as you can because I did see a thing on Instagram the other day that was like it's only 20 minutes like on your phone versus it's only 20 minutes and it's someone like drawing or running or something like that. And if you only have 20 minutes, if you are to do something that fulfills you, then it feels like a breath of fresh air before you have to do your homework. So like Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining.
Um, if you have like a 10 minutes between one assignment and another, sometimes I'll just like put on a calming audio in the background and just like write something, or I'll read something, or I'll even there's this little it's so funny. It was a Google game like a year ago, and it's just you just like bake boba. It's like one of those kid games where you
Okay,
just like fill
yeah,
it to a certain line.
yeah, yeah.
But I watch a med student. Her name is, let me pronounce it right, Zelhia Akipnar. And I think she's a doctor now, actually, but she's been a med student since I've been in high school. And
Mhm.
she said that in between your breaks, instead of doom scrolling, even if you just play a simple game, it's way less overstimulating for your brain and it makes it easier for you to get back on task. So I would say just learning what feels like a breath of fresh air to you, and then squeeze that in wherever you can.
That's awesome. You know what's so funny? Like every single
Huh.
one of those things I like resonate with, or like it's exactly the same for me. Like in high school, when quarantine in high school, taking online classes was bad. But then when I got to
Mhm.
college, I was like, man, should I do this again? I remember texting my best friend. I'm like, man, I don't know if I should be taking online class after
I don't want
quarantine,
to fail.
I was like, I guess I can try. And, after I guess let me think if I did one for my first semester. I did freshman orientation over my first semester, which I mean that class, I think that helped my confidence. I think it did because I'm like, okay, this is a relatively easy class. I think it'll be fine if I take this in real life, in online. And
Mhm.
they and taking that class, it was simple. And after that, I was like, I'll try another class. And I think, yeah, I would email the teachers first and see if I can meet them in person to get a vibe for them and be like,
Mhm.
do I feel like this person
That is
would
smart.
online? And I would, look at rate my professor and be like, oh, okay, is this person, how interactive do they seem? But taking online classes here has been great. I've had like almost all of my teachers have been really good. I've had teachers I really like. Oh, there's this one teacher, my history teacher. Uh,
Yes.
it was world history, yeah, world history, and her lectures were we had to watch through all of them because there'd be like it would be notes, right? And then you'd have to
Mhm.
fill in the notes with what she says. So it was a good way to get
Oh,
everyone to watch the videos, but also she was so funny and like interactive. And I remember when I got to finally meet her in on Honors Day, which is like it's like awards day for us.
yeah.
And it was so nice to meet her. And she's like, "Oh, I remember you," because she
It's
heard like
you.
my emails. And I mean, just I try to be interactive with all my and talk to all my professors. I'm always the last person outside the classroom because I just I've always enjoyed talking to grown-ups. I don't know if that sounds weird, but like just ever since I don't know, I just
Yeah, there's things to learn and they have
yeah,
perspective and it's interesting.
exactly. Yeah. So I've always loved talking to adults. So in school, especially in college and high school, I would always stay back and talk to them, especially in music. It's music, my music classes, it's super important because they'll tell you things that, I mean, it shows your intent and initiative by doing it, but also it's just because I want to talk to them and learn. And that's been super helpful in my college journey, honestly. I'm getting a lot off topic now when I think about it, but
You're
all
good.
classes have been great. And I've done great in all of them. So after that, I wanted to touch on the game, during your breaks, what you do and play games. I literally do this. Okay. Let me
Yeah.
put this story out. Okay. So I don't even know how this started, honestly. So in high school, I would play Tetris a lot on my computer. I'd play just
Yeah.
Tetris all the time. I would be doing it. I'd probably be doing it in class. No, actually, no, I was doing it in middle school. Yes, yes, yes. Actually, yes. In middle school, I was playing Tetris all the time. And in middle school, everyone's on their computers. They're like, oh, let's play Minecraft. Oh, let's do that. So I'd be playing, games, but
Yeah. I
Tetris.
played run.io.
Yes, see that's a good one too. So we'd be playing all these games. And then in high school, I don't think I really played Tetris. I kind of took a break. And then when I got back to college, whenever I would be just during study breaks or just breaks, I just play Tetris. And then I would like, I got so good to a point that whenever I don't even think about it, I just do good. And then I don't really care if I lose. I don't know how to explain this, but Now,
It's just like a mind relax where you don't have to
yeah.
like lock in. You're just like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So now it's just flow state. Like I don't even think about it.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
do good. And I don't, I mean, I do good to a certain point. I don't know. I don't want to be trying, it's just flow state. So
Yeah,
now it's super subconscious. Like I don't even think about it. Whenever someone calls me on my phone and I'm like studying, my mind, it's crazy. It just automatically like Command T or Control T, depends on what you're on. And then I type in Tetris and then I start playing it. And then I finish phone call. I'm like, oh, I'm playing Tetris. And I'm like,
hello.
I know. I'm like, wait, I didn't even realize I was playing Tetris because someone pointed this out to me when I was like studying with them a little bit, I guess. Yeah, I was just, well, I was doing like a service hour type thing. And then I was just waiting. But yeah, they pointed it out and I never noticed until that point that I do that subconsciously. But so I feel that that's
Definition
a
flow
great,
state.
that's a yes. I never really thought about, I didn't think other people do it and I didn't think it was like productive, but it gets my mind like right before I study always, I put on a playlist that I like there's one I went to all the time during the summer, so I kind of use that as my study playlist now,
Yeah,
but or study album. And I just play Tetris for a little bit and then I get locked in, which helps with the
yeah.
ADD,
It's
I
like a
guess.
transitional focus
So, do
almost.
you listen to music when you study?
I, you know, what's funny? I can't have music in English, but I can have music in other languages going on because my brain won't like lock in. So I actually have a lot of French pop,
Mhm.
um, specifically for whatever reason, and
Yeah.
then obviously instrumentals. Because like I will actually listen to the music if it's in English. Also, lo-fi, like lo-fi hip hop. I don't know if you there's a YouTuber that is called Lo-Fi Girl that she makes like little animations to go. Like that is my go-to.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I would say lo-fi hip hop and music that's in yes! I love her little animations, and she's like grown her whole thing, and there's a lo-fi boy, and she's got a cat. I love it so much.
It is.
But yeah, I was gonna say, how do you feel like with studying music? Do you have a certain like genre that you gravitate to?
Yeah. So I think I at first I feel like I did lo-fi too, but I just want to talk about community college. Yeah. So during college, during reading, I can't listen to music. I can't read and listen to music. That's just not, I can't do that.
Mhm. Yeah.
But writing, I can. Pretty much every other subject, pretty much can. Maybe some history, I don't listen to music that much, but anything that's not me actively reading it, I'm listening to music. It just helps me focus. Like math,
Mhm.
I need music to do math, honestly. I,
Jam it out.
I need it. And um, yeah, but now it's just I just listen to this one. Honestly, it's just this. It's whatever I'm listening to, honestly. I try not to. How do I put it? Honestly, I just listen to whatever now. I just like music. So, especially because,
Whatever fades to the background because you listen to it all the
yeah,
time. So it's
yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. I feel like if it's something new, I might get distracted, But if it's something I
mhm.
recognize, then I'm not getting distracted. I might sing the lyrics while I'm studying, but like, I remember my mom be like, Parsa, are you really ever studying? I just hear you singing. I'm like, yes, that's how I focus.
Let me sing, mother. It's
Exactly. But now I
funny.
live in a dorm, so well, actually, I don't even be singing on set. I don't be singing like crazy. But
Belting.
I want to mention this album. This one, Chasing Moving Trains by
Chasing
Ruben
moving
Blair. This
trains.
is what I listen.
Ooh.
This is honestly like it's kind of like a chill vibe. Like
I got it in my brain. I have one song that I can listen to. It's in English, but it's called 12:34 a.m., which
12:34,
is
the
so
number, right?
yeah, yep, like the time, 12:34 a.m. And it is bye. Thank you so much.
Yeah, nice. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Bye. 12:30. I found it.
12 it's by Billy Lemos and it's yes, it's good.
Okay, I'll listen to this one too. Oh, I think I've heard of the Omar Apollo. Let me check. I might have seen that artist before. Yeah, I have one song.
Apollo and Aries, maybe they're friends.
Hey, maybe. I'm just kidding. This is one song I have by one of the people that made the song. This one's called "Go Away" by
Ooh, nice.
Omar Apollo. That's the one of the
I
people that
think I've heard of I might have.
yeah.
Sometimes I just put them on and just let it play, and I don't know if the names of the actual songs, but like I would recognize it.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. So that's pretty good study habits. I feel like, yeah, I think we've talked enough about scholarship. Now we move along to leadership. Let's see. What's a good question? Hmm, I like this one. This is one of my favorite questions.
Okay.
What do you wish more leaders understood?
Hmm. I think that specifically in I've experienced this working in a hospital, but I think that this goes for a lot of organizations. I think that a lot of leaders either well, and this honestly goes for like any level of leadership. I
Mhm.
think a lot of leaders need to have more understanding of what the roles of the people that they are managing entail. I think it's really important because a lot of times when there's a disconnect and the managers or leaders don't understand the processes that are, going on beneath them, but they are in charge of directing it, it causes a lot of miscommunication and clashing. Um, so, like, in, the hospital, sometimes we get, managers or house supervisors that, are well-intending, but they aren't educated enough on how systems work, and obviously you can't know everything, but I think that taking some time to read up on the people that you're managing and on the processes that you are involved in, that your choices impact, I think that's really important. So, like, for PTK, if you are chapter president, understanding, okay, what is the role? What does VP of scholarship actually look like? What does VP of leadership actually look like? What does it look like to be someone who's in charge of communications? Who's sending those mass emails? Who's making those flyers? Like, what do all of those processes look like so that you can communicate with those people better? Yeah.
That's a good. That's a good answer. I like that. I think I can agree with that for sure because it's, as the person that's usually like above, right? It's easy
Mhm.
for them to barge into the job and then do it for you, I guess, right? Is that kind of what you're referencing?
Yes. Like, if you are saying, hey, I have this goal set, it
Mhm.
might be unrealistic for some people that are working underneath you, or it might not fit with them. And if you really understand everything that's going on, you can set realistic goals, expectations, and move things along better.
That's a good answer. Um, I guess I'll answer two. Let's
Mhm.
see. I think, wait, I had one in mind. I think the, wait, I just lost it. Communication. It might have been wait, hold on. Let me think for a second.
You got it. You got it.
Okay, I lost my train of thought. It's okay. We'll move on to another question and maybe it'll come back to me.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I really had it. I think it was just communication, just knowing. Yeah, never mind. I'm gonna next sentence.
I mean, good communication with your team is.
Yeah, but like I thought of it, but I'm losing my train of thought. Okay, I'll just go to the next question. What is your leadership style in one sentence?
Ooh, in one sentence.
Hmm. I'll try
I would, building off of the last thing I said, my leadership style is communicate, collaborate, and empathize. I
that.
think that that's really important. I think I said in my interview, that I think they asked me, I don't know if they asked all the same questions. I think I think they did. But I got a question about how, um resolving conflict, and I said that we a lot of the time have the same common goal, and if you can establish that, if you can communicate, then it's a lot easier. So I would say my sentence is communicate, collaborate, and empathize.
That's good. I remembered my answer for the other question. It's
You
just,
tell.
yes, it was communicate, like, I make sure everyone has a chance to speak. And that's like something I really try to focus on when I'm leading, because sometimes I mean sometimes I yap, but so I always make sure that I'm listening to other people. This is one of my favorite quotes, I guess. It's, or what my mom used to tell me when I was younger. She was like, God gave you 2 ears and one mouth. So, it's important to listen and
Double.
exactly. So it's important to listen and, you know, it's just more important to listen and then be able to speak after talking to someone and making sure you're listening purposefully, not one ear out the another, but making sure you internalize it. And that's been really helpful for me being able to lead people because especially when someone else might be quieter or more introverted, I always make sure they have a chance to speak because everyone has a unique perspective and everyone has a unique voice, and that might save a project and or change the goal or direction of the initiative that we're doing. So I feel like that's super important. And sometimes, people that lead over me, no, yeah, lead me. I'm like, I wish they listened to that person or mentioned the person. So, because I remember being on the other side of that, being not being able to speak or not being able to voice my opinion and not being confident enough. So making the space to make sure the other person is also confident enough to do that is important too. So I feel like that's one thing that I value from leaders whenever they're like, "What's your opinion on this?" Or yeah, what do you think? So
That is such an important question. What do you think? I think that that is, oof, we should ask that more.
that's what I'm saying. Because and it's passionate knowledge. So let's see and then I guess I like leadership style. One sentence for me. Um, I think it's just making sure everyone or if there's ever anything that needs to be done, I will get it done. That's like, if there's someone that I'm always the guy to raise my hand if there's someone or something needing to be done because
Initiative.
initiative, yes. I mean, that's how I got into my roles at my community college. Is just by taking initiative, even when it didn't exist, when opportunities didn't exist. So making sure and being able to, and then yeah, actually just making sure that getting those opportunities to exist, and then taking initiative for it. So I guess taking initiative might be one thing. Yeah.
That's
One,
really important.
thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Honestly, we'll move to service questions.
Okay.
What's another leadership question you think? I can.
I think that service, it's a good time for service.
Okay. So, we've already talked about service pretty good,
Oh,
but
that's true.
you said what?
I said, oh, that's true.
Yeah, but we definitely can talk about it more. So let me look at these questions. Okay, I like this one actually.
Hmm.
Who inspires your service mindset?
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Um, I would say I have, okay, this is like, um, hmm, I have two people.
Hmm.
So, my current person is definitely my mom. She is the charge nurse for our general surgery floor, so she actually works on the same floor as me.
Oh,
Um, but uh she's always been like really willing to help people no matter where she's at in life. And I remember um being in camp and someone was like, "Oh, Danhof, is your mom Kimberly Danhof?" And I was like, "Yeah." They were like, "Oh my gosh, like Kimberly listened to me through college and like I told her so much and she was so," and I was like, "Oh, like that's so great." And then when I got my job, I got hired and one of our managers was like, "Danhof," and I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Are you related to Kimberly Danhof?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm related to Kimberly Danhof." And she was like, "Oh, she tutored me all throughout nursing school."
wow.
Even when like my mom was, a single mom, she had three kids, and my manager was like, "Yeah, she was my tutor all through college. Like, how is she?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh." But I think that I really wanted to be that person where people are like, "Oh my gosh, that person helped me, that person listened to me, that person guided me." Like, that would be my goal in life. And then the person who inspired me to move into the nuclear medicine field, um, I remember shadowing nuclear medicine for the first time. And towards the end of the day, I was scheduled to go in and see it's a really long term, I actually don't remember it, but it was, an operation, that had to do with trying to reduce a breast cancer tumor,
Mhm.
and it was pretty advanced. It was kind of like a last, operation.
Yeah.
And I remember they went in, they went and spoke to the woman and they said, "Hey, we have a student. Do you mind?" And she was like, "No." And I went in and they were like, "Can you explain what's going on here?" And the way she explained it, she definitely had been through this before. She'd been through chemo. So
Mhm.
she had no hair. She's very pale. She's very thin. You could tell that her body had been put through the ringer. And I was like standing over in the corner, like, like I probably should have been a little more encouraging looking. I think I was more I looked more scared.
Yeah.
Um and she like the doctors were talking, they were drawing up the isotope into the needle and they were just kind of conferring among themselves and she looked over at me and she winked at me. And I was like, why are you comforting me? I should be comforting you.
Yeah.
But she called me over and she was like, "How are you today?" And I was like, "I'm really good. Thank you for, letting me be here." And I was just like, I was so nervous. And she was like, I was like, "How are you feeling?" She was like, "I feel good. Like I'm just happy to be here. Like I'm so glad that you're learning. I think that this is a good learning opportunity. I think, like I really like working with my doctors." And she really is why I decided to go into the medical field, despite the fact that a lot of medical procedures and blood and needles make me really nervous.
Mhm.
Because like her encouragement and her bravery, I'm like, I want to be there for people like you. I want to, get to be part of that journey. It's difficult as it is, but yeah. So I would say that those two people are definitely what inspired my whole service journey.
Wow, that's awesome. How, hmm, how, your mom has been very influential part of your career, I guess, or like,
Mhm.
inspired you a lot, right?
Yes.
Hmm. Do you have a favorite memory with your mom?
I remember in nursing school I was when I first started showing interest in what she was learning. And she was super duper busy, but I remember one night I woke up, it was like 4 in the morning, and she was studying, and I wandered into her room. I was like 8, and I was like, I can't sleep. And I was like, what are you doing? And instead of sending me back to bed with who I probably would have sent me back to bed. But she sat me down and she taught me mitosis of
Mhm.
cells. And
Yeah,
we literally just sat there for like until like 7 in the morning until we had breakfast just learning mitosis with these like magnets. And I will never forget just like sitting on the floor of our of our apartment with my mom learning mitosis. But that is definitely something that stuck with me just because it's funny. We still talk about it.
that's awesome. Yeah,
Do you have a person that really inspired you?
hmm. I mean, one of the people that I have a bunch of people that honestly inspire me in music.
BGK will do that.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, first, I mean the chapter before me, as I mentioned before, they're very inspiring. And like the president or the former president, comment on some of my posts that I made, so that was super nice as well. And you know, inspired me service. I feel like my uncle, he's a very genuine person. He's one person that just inspires my personality. I want to be like him. He's helped a bunch of people, but also my grandfather, a lot of my family just inspires me because there's just so many great people. I don't even think I can put it to one person. I think it's the accumulation of how my parents raised me and my family, and especially one of my teachers in elementary. She wasn't technically my teacher. Did you have gate or space at elementary? It was like, I guess it was like just like
Might have had something equivalent.
it was like a gifted learners thing. I don't know. I was in.
Oh, we called it gifted and talented.
Okay. Gifted and talented. So, they're that teacher for me. And they were the person that really broke my shell in elementary and made me realize I can do more than what I think I'm capable of. And I still go and talk to her. Like I've kept ties with her ever since elementary, and she's one of the smartest people, and I looked up to her a lot. or most wise people, that always has always knows the always knows the answer to
Right thing to
life.
say.
Yeah, and she honestly is a very big inspiration, especially for all she's done and all the people she's helped. And I think honestly, I feel like Elijah, the division, one president.
Yeah, yeah.
Meeting him was super inspiring in what he does. We actually interviewed him for our HIA project, and
Hmm.
because he was in the Alabama regional conference,
Hmm.
so we talked about our leadership. Our question for our research project was, I don't even know if I can talk. I think I can talk about this, but it was
I think so.
yeah, how does the American dream evolve for immigrants after they arrive to America? Basically the
That's
premise.
a good.
So, we talked to him, especially as like I was born in Iran at 1 years old, so I moved here after being one. So I'm like, somewhat I can relate to the things he was talking about. He moved here when he was
Hmm.
way older, but than me. But um just learning about everything that keeps him grounded and his like daily routines and why he does everything was super inspiring to me. So honestly, Elijah is one for sure. And I want to talk about one other person in music that inspires me. But as I mentioned before to you, I think music is a service.
That would be suiting.
So, yes. So my one of my teachers, I have two teachers. One of them, he is I would say I'm pretty motivated in life, and I can tell when other people are motivated or aren't motivated. And like some people just say that they do
They
stuff.
have the drive,
Yeah,
the
but
fire under their behind,
you said what?
the fire under their behind.
Good way to put it. But they, I can sometimes tell when they go home and do the stuff, or they just sit home or don't do anything, and I get motivated by the people that do. And the only people that I know is truly more motivated than me and really does what they do is this teacher, Mr. Carter. Sure, I'll put his name out there. And
They'll
he
be Mr. Carter.
W. Mr. Carter. He's he's truly he does so much stuff, and let's say like he has his own business on the side of his studio. He goes home and the engineers, and he's always on the grind. He's teaching 7 classes. He's getting his master's um degree at Berkeley right now. He is doing everything possible and even more. And that truly inspires me to just, I'm like, it motivates me to do more because I'm like, dang, not like, oh, he's going to get ahead of me, but I'm like, oh, there's guys that are working harder than me, and it makes me want to work even harder.
Someone setting a pace that you can kind of aim for.
Exactly. So he's definitely up there for me. Um, let's see. Next question. Hmm. Isn't that was a good question, wasn't it?
Oh, I know just like what is it? Home run after home run?
Oh yeah. I get what you're saying. Is there a rare way to put it? No, I think a home run after home run. I mean,
I think it's what it is.
yeah, maybe. Let's see. Oh, this is a classic one.
Hmm.
Do I want to ask them? Yeah. I mean, actually we did answer this one. Okay, we'll leave it.
Okay.
Was what impact do you want to leave behind? And you mentioned, being the other person to help for other people.
Yes.
And I resonate
Yes.
with that as well.
We did.
Yeah, and yeah, being a role model for others. That's another thing I would add to mine. But do you want to expand on that question? If you want. I mean, you don't have to, honestly.
I think we summed it up pretty good, but I would say I just want to be the person that people have. Like everybody has someone they can lean on, and I have had so many people that have had my back, and I would like to be the person that people have that they can come to for just understanding, advice, maybe, help, a listening ear. I would like to be that person for people.
Mhm. I agree. And I actually want to mention this. This is funny to me. So,
Yeah.
not funny. I mean, it's cool. So, I try to be that person for people too. And when I was, yeah, I can mention this. I think. uh,
Beep!
yeah, you just see the censor for the rest of the thing. You're like, what happened to but they when I got the two recommendation letters from the people for the application for this, right?
Mhm,
I told them they can well, one of them asked for me for a guideline that they want me to talk about, and I basically said like talk about PTK a little bit, or
mhm.
basically how to sum it up. But they both mentioned something that like I didn't even think this is like the quality that stands out about me the most, just from my own perspective. But it's what they both mentioned, and I was like, oh wow. And it was just that I always take the time to talk to people and get to know them. And I was like, I didn't know that like stood out about me, but when they both mentioned it, I was like, wow, I guess I
Was it well, like you said, like staying after class, talking to the
yeah,
teachers,
true.
like that seems like a quality.
Yeah. So, talking to them and talking to other students, making sure they feel included. Because I hate when it's when someone's just sitting in the corner and not like adding anything to or, is nervous or wants to, but just doesn't feel right. Because I know I was that person in like middle school, high school sometimes. So I always try to think of it from like my own perspective and what I would want other people to do for me. So that's like I think that's something super important when it comes to leadership. Like what would you want someone to do for you? And being able to give that back is important. And to piggyback ride off of the things you were saying, you said that music. Oh yeah, I mean no, you didn't say mention music, but I want to mention music. Um,
Yes.
music something I thought was always there for me. So being able to I feel like it's somewhat of a duty, but also a love for me to give back to the community that gave so much to me in that way. Because, with music gave me so much, and I was always able to rely on that. And I have a love for it, but also I feel like it's somewhat of a, internal duty for me to give back to that community and be able to be that helping hand for other people too. And it's another, and I guess that goes for, PTK as well.
Mhm.
Part of all these clubs has helped my sense of belonging and made me more confident as a leader. So being able to get back is important. So or crucial to
Yeah,
me. I feel like that's an impact we both want to leave behind a good one, right?
definitely move into that generation of people that can mentor people that were once like us entering community college.
Exactly. All right. We're gonna move along to fellowship questions.
Okay.
So let's see. Um wait, this I have this one that says what keeps members coming back? And the first thing that came to my mind was like food, but
It was the pizza that drew me in, you guys.
yeah. What? Okay, this is so dumb, but this is the first thing I thought of. What? No, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. Never mind.
What?
When you mentioned the pizza, when you ate all the pizza, what pizza did they have for you?
Oh, they had pepperoni, but I turned it into a cheese
Oh,
pizza.
really? You don't like pepperoni?
I have grown to like be able to like it, but if I can, I'm not. I don't know why. I think it's a texture thing.
Oh, really? I'm a texture person too. What other foods you don't like the texture of?
I have never gotten over tomatoes and mushrooms,
Oh,
but I strangely am totally fine eating like all kinds of raw fish
okay.
and like I can eat strange things. I can eat really spicy things, but for some reason like some things that are like staples to our cuisine, I'm like,
Yeah. No, I feel that. I'm a texture person too. Like
mhm,
tomatoes, no, I can't do tomatoes. But I can do mushrooms.
really?
Yeah, because like mushrooms are
I
like
think that's like umami, isn't that the kind of flavor classification?
I don't know. I don't know. You said what?
I think they classify that kind of flavor as umami.
Okay. But the texture though.
Oh, the texture, I don't know. It's just like gummy, rubbery to me.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, but like stuff like peppers, tomatoes. Oh, I feel weird to even talk about it. But uh, I can't do those. But there's something else that I can't do. I mean, oh, this is a story I always tell. It's I love cranberry juice. So you'd think I would like cranberry sauce, but like the first time my friend was like, "Oh, you should try like cranberry sauce I made." I'm like, I probably won't like the texture, but like they're like, try
Oopie
it.
goopy.
He said what? Oh yeah,
Goopy.
it was just like, oh no, I can't do it. And then I tried it and I gagged. I'm like, no, it was good, but like, I just can't do the texture. I don't know why.
It is a weird texture.
You agree? Are we cranberry sauce haters? No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I like it, but it's a weird texture.
That's fair. Okay. Great question, right? No, I'm playing. Let's see. Um, I mean, if you want to answer the what keeps members, do you feel like there's something that keeps members coming back to meetings or yeah. It doesn't have to
I
even
would,
be to be honest. It can be any club or anything.
that's, I would say, and we keep coming back to this, but it's important that leadership is so, so important. It really does make or break a club. I remember joining Project U, it was essentially like on the verge of not even being considered a participating club anymore. Um, and I think we had so many when I was a senior and we were leaving, we had a ton of people in our in our group, and we had expanded our projects to be way bigger, and our needs closet was way more fulfilled. And so I think that again, just the people behind it and the people that not the people, but their intentions and their drive, what drives them, super, super duper important because it really does make or break any organization, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
That's good answer. Let's see. I'll ask another question. Yeah.
hmm,
Let's see. Okay, this one's a good one.
hmm.
What advice would you give to a new member?
Ooh. I would say do not be afraid to take on a responsibility. I think that big titles like the VP of scholarship, the VP of leadership, even if you don't want to go, to like vice president, but you can still be in communications and something like that. I think that it can be intimidating at first and it seems like a lot. But one, I would say now running for international officer, it takes up more of my time. But being the VP of scholarship only took up, I would say, about like 3, maybe 4 hours of my week.
Mhm.
With, just like doing research, writing out papers, stuff like that. I would not say that it like took away, and I'm a very busy person, so I would not say that it took away or really put too much stress on me, especially because with my chapter, we have a really good net of people that we have good advisors, we have people who have been here, so we have a good, like training, advising team. Um, but yeah, I would say do not be afraid to let PTK grow you as a leader. Let PTK challenge you, get involved. Like, don't just be an honorary member, who kind of like I would say really get involved and let it push you to new things because it will.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good answer. I love that advice.
I was
Yes.
gonna say, do you have
Do I what?
anything besides that you would tell a new person?
I think that's pretty good. I mean, yeah, making sure to yeah, not to be scared to get involved and like yeah, if someone I mean let me imagine myself, what would I want someone to tell me? I mean, honestly, just asking questions and making sure you can make the best out of the experience and figuring out everything there has to do with PTK. For example, this is actually a good example. I wouldn't known about international officer if I didn't go. Okay, wait, actually, this is a perfect example. Okay. Um, when Honors Institute happened in I think it's like May 31st to June 2nd or something, I had joined like PTK office or I became an officer like late April. Might have been earlier April, but I'm pretty sure it was in April though. And that was probably like our third, no, it was probably like our second meeting after meeting everyone.
Hmm.
And they're like, "Oh, if you guys want to go to Honors Institute, we'll take you. We'll take you. We'll take you." We have an officer team of 6 people, yes, including me. And I remember, hearing about that. I'm like, man, that sounds crazy. Going to Chicago, first time traveling without, no, it's not my first time traveling without my parents, but it was my second time traveling without my parents and or people I really knew there. And I met the advisors, like a couple times. So it wasn't a handful of times. So I was like, dang, I'm going to go on this trip. But I was like, I want to take advantage of every trip I can take. I mentioned how I want to travel. And I was like, I guess I'll do it. So, taking the initiative and going there was, I mean, a great option for me. I'll be honest. Actually, I was like low-key sick half the thing, and I didn't get to experience like the whole thing. That's a little parcel lore for this. But I didn't go, I did mm, when I went to like the first information session, which I don't know, I didn't even get to finish it. But when I was sitting outside with my advisor, I'm like, who are those people that are standing out the door? And then they're like, oh, they're the international officers. And like that moment, like when I figured, I'm like, wait, what do you mean? And that moment, once I figured it out, yeah, I was like, when she explained it to me, I was like, man, it's gonna happen, I'm like that I have to do that because I'm like I didn't even know that that existed. I didn't even know regional officer existed. I mean, because it was my first like couple months of PTK.
Yeah,
So, but I wouldn't have known that. I mean, I probably would have figured it out eventually who they were, but asking the question, was important. So, especially
really
learning
good.
about scholarships, asking questions to my advisors because I'm like, what should I talk about and all that? Because if I just looked at the scholarship application, like the fall scholarship application by myself, then there might have been things I didn't know what to do or I could have expanded on
What
more.
they were looking for.
Yeah, exactly. So just talking to them, like, what do you think I should mention in here is good, and getting that experience and doing the edge programs too, learning about those. So I think asking questions might be just the answer. What the question was, what advice? Yeah, I'd say
I
asking
think
questions.
that's good advice.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. Just thinking about questions. Um, hmm. What's your favorite PTK memory so far?
Ooh. So Athens, so I would say it would be our college, no, it was Honors in Action.
Okay.
Yeah, our Honors in Action project this past fall. We are home of UGA, and we had a kind of like it was like 4 blocks created like a square that was a community back in the 60s, I think, called Linen Town. Um, and it was a residential area, and it was mostly populated by African American people, and it was, just a really tight knit, hardworking community, and they were victims of urban renewal, where their land was like really not even hardly bought. It was mostly just taken for um, a bit of UGA parking garage, and they lost. I think it was worth like 5 million in total. Um, so in the past few years, there's one of the well, there's I think there's 4 former residents that are speaking out, but the kind of the figurehead of it is this woman named Hattie Whitehead, who was a child that grew up there,
Mhm.
and she talked about the impact that it had on her family, on her parents, on her community, and on her. And she actually went before Michael Thurman, uh, who's our um, who's our mayor, and then argued she did. I mean, she had to advocate for herself. And we have it had that street that was renamed after it was demolished. We had it renamed Lindentown Boulevard, and so they are actually in the process of raising funds to that she created a musical about it,
Mhm.
that is raising funds to give restitution to the families, since the state actually cannot give restitution to the families. So she's in the process of raising funds to give restitution for the families. So our chapter invited her and Michael Thurman and one other person. Michael Thurman's a speaker. I'm forgetting the name of the other person. It's been a long time, but we invited them to the library to watch a documentary on Town, and then have her speak about the impact and to raise awareness. And I cried during the documentary. I'm such an emotional person, but it was just so real because you see a lot of documentaries, but you don't see it happening. Like I drive past Town Boulevard and I didn't even know what that was.
Mhm.
On my way to work, I'd never seen it was like watching history happen right in front of me. And she actually in 2026 is going to use those funds to open the very first, which I can't believe kind of
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
good.
crazy to me, but the very first African American History Museum in Athens in
Uh,
2026, hopefully. And we got to be a part of that. And I was like, oh, like I was so excited to be a part of that. And that was one of my first experiences with it. So that will definitely stick with me forever.
I love that. That's such a, I mean, the backstory to that is super interesting. And like, how'd y'all, you, you didn't mention how you got, how'd you figure that one out? Or, how'd you get into that specifically?
So I actually joined BTK towards the end of this project. So I wasn't VP of scholarship at that point. I have done papers since then for us, but in our college projects. But with this one, I think I had been part of PTK for like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and they were like, "We need someone to come work this," and I was like,
Oh yeah.
"Okay."
That's
And
good.
I just showed up and I think I helped make food, I helped put things together, I handed out tickets, I greeted people, and then I ended up being in charge of our door prize thing and like talking to everybody in between our sessions. But mostly I just got to sit in the back and enjoy everything and be educated along with everyone that came. And we had a really good turnout. I was really happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Should I answer this question too?
I think I really want to. I would say I want to hear your take. I love these stories.
Yeah. No, you have great stories. Like like dang, every story, yeah, every one of your stories are great, I'm not gonna lie. Good
Thank you.
storyteller.
I appreciate
Are you
it.
writing? Are you gonna write? Like great storyteller.
Think I write on this on the wayside.
Okay, okay. That's good. You need to. Um, yeah, for me, Loki, I kind of already mentioned it. It's the one when I got to learn more about Elijah, just doing that project in general. Yeah, there's more. I can actually, yeah, I can add more to the story. So, the project was, somewhat personal to me, even though we didn't interview me. So we made a documentary of the people that we interviewed, and it was personal to me because I grew up in and my parents are immigrants, so learning about different perspectives that people have on similar issues or not issues, just experiences, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
was insightful and inspiring. And learning about, we also interviewed Raymond, the D2 VP, and just learning about the different circumstances in their countries and where they come from, and to the juxtaposition to what they have now is super interesting, especially how Elijah came to America. It was based off like a golden, I think, I don't want to misquote him actually, but what I remember is like a golden ticket type thing. People in the country signed up for a lottery type ticket that takes them to the States. So,
Mm-hmm.
he won that, and then once he got to here, he changed. No, I think he was actually, I'm not going to misjudge it or
You're
misinterpret,
good.
but yeah. So learning about that, and yeah, I mean, connecting with the international officers was great. But someone else I wanted to mention that we interviewed was, let me get a little backstory. I volunteer at a nonprofit radio station, and one of my tasks, I first did a summer internship there, which was my first internship, and I love those people. They've made me even more confident in my work because in past work experiences, I was a barista, pharmacy technician, and a lifeguard. Lifeguard, my work was valued, and then and it was probably the barista. Like I wasn't too fast of making drinks. I don't really drink coffee, but um I didn't really go to Starbucks either. But I wanted to be a part of that. I mean, actually, yeah, I mean, I wanted to work at Starbucks, So I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
need a job, and I did do these jobs over the summer. So when I was working at Starbucks, I wasn't as fast as other people making drinks. I would always like felt like I was looked down upon, and I felt like just not confident, and I would dread working there, even though. there were some good people there, and I met some nice people that motivated me. But
I
that's
felt that
another thing with
internally. I
leadership,
know what you
though.
mean.
Yeah, and that's another thing with leadership. The people that I would work like getting along with or like working with, they would make me feel like I'm not, worse. So that ties into leadership. If I had good leaders and good managers, which I did sometimes, you know, it would feel good. But versus the other ones that weren't as good, it would make me feel like, oh, why am I here? But going to the radio station really made my work feel valued because I've just been good at doing computer stuff ever since I was a kid. So working on the
Mhm.
computer softwares, I would teach them stuff that they didn't even know when they've been working there for a while on the computer software because I'm like, this is probably how you do it. And they're like, oh, you know how to do that? So
Tech savvy.
so it's been, working with them has been super awesome. And I always laugh. In high school, I had these two friends that I would always be talking to and I would always be laughing. But in college, I honestly didn't find anyone that's makes me laugh as much as they would make me laugh. But working at the nonprofit, these two people that were over me are just so funny. We're always just laughing the whole time. It's bad. We're just laughing. I'm like, dang, I'm using like like my volunteer time just laughing with them. But it's just a good time. So and making sure I'm my work feels valued. And I was writing metadata for one of the shows, writing tags. So I was listening to the show, and oh wait, I just learned something too. All right, sorry, I just connect some thoughts. But there's
You're
a
good.
guy, yeah, I might as well mention it. There's a guy that has his own show. His name is Microwave Dave, and he's a local legend in Huntsville and he recently just passed away, like literally 2 days ago. So that kind of sucks. But I was listening to his show, and he'd mentioned this one musician, the blues musician. His genre was blues. Blues. He's a famous blues musician, and he mentioned this local, well-known, or it wasn't local, a well-known blues musician that he moved from India and not Freeway, but he was here studying engineering, computer science engineering, something in that area, and he dropped out of college and then he became a or dropped out of his job and became a blues musician full time. And I thought that was such an interesting like story. And when I heard that, we were in the works of getting our HIA project rolling. So I was like, what if I contact him? So I reached out to him. He's local or he's at San Francisco. Yeah, I think San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was super nice. And we interviewed him. So like I reached out to him and I'm like, oh, are you down to do an interview? He's like, yeah, let's do it. And his perspective was just so interesting. Yeah, I don't remember his age actually. He's probably not, I mean, he's not young, he's not old. So, middle age, maybe
Yeah.
30. So, his perspective on a lot of topics was some of them were like a little bit more towards pessimistic, but super real though, realist as well. And
Very candid.
yeah, and
Or
he,
not candid. Candor.
okay, okay. I don't even know. I know what candid means, but it was super interesting learning about how he looks at stuff. So, and being able to connect with him, being able to connect with a musician, and he's like, "Oh, just reach out whenever you want," and I kind of look up to him just because how I mean, he said you can reach out to me whenever you want. We can just talk about things because our interview went on for like 40 minutes, and then I stood back, classic Parsa, just talking to him, and I was here with my
Yeah.
and the project manager said, "Well, I gotta go. Parsa, you can talk to him." I'm like, "Okay." So I'm just talking to him, just asking him questions about things, and that was just super insightful and good memory. Just that whole project was a good memory for me. So I think that's a good memory. The regional conference itself was real good too. It was real fun getting to talk to a lot of
I'm
people.
so excited for ours.
Yes, yes. I'm excited too. That's gonna be awesome. All right. I guess let me see if there's one more question. Maybe we'll do one more question. Uh, for this one. What would you tell? Oh, no. Okay. I don't even think I have this written down, but is there? a PTK member that you like sticks out to you?
Hmm.
Uh,
My God,
Like that one
they
that
really all do.
they all do.
They really all do. But I have an
Shout out.
advisor and
Yeah, give a shout out to someone. Shout out someone.
oh, shout out to Miss K Helms. She is so funny, but she really was the person that helped me get over my nerves with a lot of things, and she has really supported me throughout all of this international officer journey. She was the one that said, "Hey, I think that you would be really fulfilled and you would be a good international officer. I think you should look at it." Um, and she was a person her daughter brought us Firehouse when we were recording our speech, and we had the same suborder. We were just talking, and she is the kind of person that you can just talk to, like she will be there for you. She will check in on you, and you can just say anything to her, and she's great. So love you,
Awesome.
Miss Helms.
W. Um, should I
Would
mention? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Um, well, for BTK, honestly, I would say my advisor too. Shout out Mrs. Starr. She's helped me a lot through. So she's also the career services, like I think her name or job title is also professional skills specialist. So she, when I was trying to apply for internships, she helped me with my resume and just professional development overall. And I remember when I think this was so we got to revise our honors study speech after we submitted first, and they're like, "Oh, after we get some revisions, we can redo it." And mine was just cut mine down. So I remember talking to her about it, and it was like the day of because I hadn't got to see her the whole until then, and I was like, "Wait, can you help me?" And then she like stood up texting me like right before the due date, like it was like what 10 p.m. And she's like helping me, and I was like, "Wow."
That was Miss Helms.
Exactly. So going out their way. I mean, she really goes out her way to do stuff for me, and I don't take it for granted. I really appreciate it. So I do need to give her a shout out. And she probably, I don't know if she's going to watch this. I doubt it, but I've been trying to think of a gift to get her, and I don't know what to get. I know her like kind of best friend in at Calhoun, so I've been thinking about asking her to be like, oh, what should I get for her? But yeah, I need to get her a gift.
Good idea.
It's super awesome.
I
It's
like that idea.
Yeah, but hopefully one day. And you mentioned the teacher thing. I have another teacher just I love in general. His name's Mr. Sides. I was just talking to him earlier today. He's an author, and he had his own little event today at the school talking about his pub well his books, and he's always those teachers are people I can always talk to. I always walk into his office and whatever he's doing, he'll just talk to me. Like, if he's doing something important, I mean, if he's like doing something really important, he might just finish the email. But usually just let go whatever he's doing and just talk to me because I don't know, I just like connecting with him. And
I
he's,
love those
he's a
people.
great guy. He's a great guy. So shout out to our advisors. He's my
What a
SKE.
great team.
Exactly, exactly. All right. So those are the Hallmark questions. I do have just other random questions that I could talk about. I don't really, I mean, let me see if there's something really interesting. Maybe there's something that, yeah, we'll do like one deep slash reflection question. Um,
Sounds like a plan.
you see what?
So it sounds like a plan.
Okay, bet. Um, let's see. Ooh, I mean, these are all great questions, honestly. Hmm. I like this one. Well, no, I guess we talked about that one a little bit. And then we talked about a lot of these, honestly, on had the
Look at us yappers.
for real. Let's Okay, this one's all right. What's something you're learning about yourself lately?
Hmm.
So, good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I think I've known this in my mind, but I've been learning that my mind will quit so far before I'm actually spent. Specifically, it's in a mental sense, but it's like recently it's been in a physical sense because I have been working on endurance for ballet and I've never been good at running and I've never been good at any kind of like long stint, you know?
Mm.
Um, and just recently I've like been putting on a podcast and starting to run and I've realized that again, like your brain will tell you that you can't. And then if you, some people, some runners call it the cave of anguish, which sounds so dramatic. But they were like, you'll enter the cave, and then if you keep going, you will go on the other side of the cave, and then you'll be okay for like 30 more minutes. And it's true. And I think that that's something that also applies to being a leader and to life in general is like, you will set your own ceiling for your capacity. And in reality, almost always it is way farther than the imaginary ceiling that you set for yourself. I don't know, I'm like modeling my little house here. But I think that that's something to consider is that what you think you're capable of could be limiting, you know?
No, that's literally, I think about that like every day, I guess. It's from well, I mean, it's not even actually yeah, I'll just talk about this. Like there's a quote that let's see. When I in high school, I started working out. I haven't been working out anymore because I've been so busy with college. But when I
Busy,
was
busy.
working, yeah, but when I was working out, the quote that would get me through like cardio sessions would be because I would, I'd be going to, doing long cardio sessions and well, listen to music, of course. But the quote that would get me through and that stuck with me is it was the moment you want to quit is the moment you have to try your hardest and get through. Like, or I don't think the get through is the part of the quote, but the moment you want to quit is the moment you have to try your hardest. So that quote really drives me in everything I do. And it's very close to what you were saying. Just being, yeah, literally exactly what you're saying. Everyone thinks their ceiling is somewhere, and people will tell you that some people, this is something I ran into, I had this one, let me drink water.
You good.
But I had one person that I was joining all these clubs on campus, and he's like, "Oh, Parsa, are you sure you want to join all these clubs?" Like he was trying to talk me out of this so bad. And I'm like, and he's like, "There's been people that tried even less than you, and they haven't even made it, and they would burn out." And I'm like, I mean, I'm not them though. I mean, how do I tell you? I mean, I know what I can do and try. And then I stuck with what I can do, and I did even more, and I exceeded the expectations, and it's just like, and then people ask me like, how do you do all this in one day? Like, is your 24 hours? This is what someone said earlier. They're like, is your 24 hours the same 24 hours I have? And when you like break the mindset of
It's
just
only 20 minutes.
right? Go in, right? When you just push the mindset and just like, honestly, I don't even think about it. Like, I'm like, I'm going to keep doing it and keep doing it until it doesn't work. Because I just, then it goes with this other quote that I live by. The quote that's been driving me through everything in this last season of my life. And it's, if I try my hardest, then I'll have no regrets. And that's why I'm like every opportunity I can get, I do it. Even if I don't think I can handle it, I do it. And guess what? I always handle it and always do good. So I think that's a good thing to I don't even remember the question anymore, honestly. Oh,
It's a good mentality.
yeah. And yeah, I agree. So I guess the one thing I can mention about me, something I've been learning about myself is just like I feel like last semester, mm, I mean honestly, something I've been learning about myself just making sure I enjoy the moment. It's something I have to remind myself, especially with all of us being like, going to international office, makes life
Yeah.
fast paced, right? It's like the next thing.
Yes.
But learning to enjoy like something I've been doing, trying to do. I didn't get to do this weekend, sadly, but just taking a day that I can do something that I want to do, like kind of what you were mentioning before, but like watching a movie now. Like I love I never sometimes when I watch movies, I'm like, dang, I'm just wasting my time. But I try to think of like, okay, I mean, this is literally what we're talking about, but um, to make sure I'm like okay with taking a break. And
Yeah, you deserve rest.
yes, and that's
Rest
not
is
hard to
productive.
do, but something learning to do. Yeah, learning to do that. So I think that's.
That's really important.
Mhm. Do you want to do another question with deep reflection? I've held you up for we're almost getting to around 2 hours, but do you want to do another deep question? Deep
Say, I think I've got time for one more before I have two small siblings to put to bed, but they are definitely very happy that I have neglected that so far. I'm sure they are very pleased. But yeah, I think I've got time for another one.
All right. Let me find a good one then. Ooh, these are old, just like hits. Hits, Hallmark hit. No, okay, sorry. Um, what's
Haha.
good joke, right? Let's see. Um, these are just old great questions. I think yeah, let's just do this one. Ooh, what's one sacrifice you've made for your goals?
Ooh.
I need
So this one is like I'm like don't want to get like super duper like crazy personal, but like because like I don't know.
whatever.
But I am from a split household. Like I think I mentioned that. And I at senior year I was kind of faced with a bit of an ultimatum where I could have my college paid for as long as I went to a specific college and got a like I think it was like if I went to a specific college.
Mhm.
My dad, they were like very upset on the specific college, but this college had nothing to do with medicine, and it didn't have anything to do with like what I wanted to be in life. And so my choice was like either have my college paid for and go to this college and get a degree that I didn't really want, or go rogue, you know? And so I ended up moving out, and I moved down here. I was on my 18th birthday. I was like freshly 18, and I was like, I was so scared because I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm trying to follow my passion, but like, I don't, like, I don't know. But I ended up, so far, I have an academic scholarship, hopefully, that will stay in place to cover my tuition. And I'm just like applying for scholarships left and right. Um, and I've gotten more than I expected. And so far, my schooling has been paid for. And I'm hoping to stay on that trajectory and have it paid for through at least my bachelor's. But I would say that sacrificing security and like the good feeling of like knowing I security for what I really want. I think that applies to a lot of things. I think in order to achieve big dreams, if you want to become like an entrepreneur, if you want to start investing your money, there is always going to be some kind of jump, some kind of security that you have to sacrifice. Or if you want to move to a new city or a new country, you have to sacrifice some security. But I think that that is so important and it grows you as a person and as a leader. And so I would say go for it.
I like that. That's good. It reminds me of the quote, uncomfortability breeds growth.
Hmm.
I feel like I don't want to say I think Alan Watts said that. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I imagine his voice saying that. But yeah, for for me, yeah, I mean for me, the whole not my whole life, but there's been a bunch of sacrifices I've had to make to if it's just simple sacrifices like, oh, I can't hang out with someone because I have to go work on something.
Let's say one of them is just free time, lazy time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So sacrificing that, especially from actually, let me answer the question. What is one sacrifice you made for your goals? And I mean, sacrifice. I guess it's just honestly just the time. I keep wanting to think of something else, but I mean, there's just a bunch of sacrifices. But okay, I think this might be one that's a good answer. Like my taking the non-traditional route for me in college. For example, my family expects everyone to become a doctor and go into medicine, or something that's very, or something, I was about to say normal, but something that's just engineering, doctor. What else
There's
is
like the big five that people
Yeah,
are like success, success, success. Although it's so funny because my family is not like medicine success. It's so funny. I'm like everyone thinks whatever.
right? No, but you're right, exactly. There's like the main
Yeah.
five, and uh, I think one sacrifice was, you know, not caring what my family would think of what I choose. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be my life. Eventually, only one person I want to blame is me. I don't want to be like, go grow up and do something that they said, even if it gets me more money and just miserable. If you love what you do for work, you don't work a day in your life. So, I make sure to make my life, structure my life, that everything I do is I love it. The the service stuff, the PTK stuff, the club stuff, I love it all. Music stuff, I love it all, and that's all I do. Those are the
Yeah.
things I think about, and that's what I love. And you know, making the sacrifice to not think about what they say. I feel like it makes I would admire someone more for doing that versus uh, you know, falling behind the standards that someone else placed for them.
Hey, oh, I need to make money and my whole family does this. Well, okay.
Exactly.
I
So
did see a quote that said is like a life lived for others is not really your life. And I was
yeah,
like,
exactly. No, it really is. I mean, or it's really not. Yeah, right. But
yeah.
but it's that I think that's a big sacrifice uh not to make. But now that I'm doing stuff, and especially the respect of my own parents, it's like when I first got into it, they're like, "Man, you sure want to do this every single day?" I don't want to make my parents sound very
No, but they want the best for you, and
different.
especially I
Exactly.
think the past generation, they really want security.
Mhm. So exactly. So given that, them coming home and be like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" But now that they see everything I'm doing, they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
more." Uh, I mean, yeah, assurance, that
Hmm.
thing. So I think we talked good amount for sure. Um, but I think let me make sure there's nothing else. I don't think there's any other questions. But this is honestly exactly how I imagined it'd be. Turned out,
Thank you for having me. This was so fun. Of
of course. Thank you for, joining, and thank you for, getting to know me and getting,
course.
yeah, joining this. And it's been awesome. Thank you for being my first guest on.
Yay! I'm so honored.
Exactly. And yeah, you've been the best guest so far. No.
Kidding!
But that's all for today, folks. Stay tuned, and uh, yeah, peace.
Noodles. Bye.